let's cut right to it. In the fast-paced world of AI, there's a new power player emerging. This isn't just another tech role. We're talking about a leader who can take the biggest risks AI presents and flip them into an organization's greatest strengths. Today, we're not just going to talk about that person. We're going to build their roadmap. Let's dive in.
So, what's the core problem here? Well, it all starts with a number that should honestly keep every single executive up at night: 80%. According to industry analysis, that's how many digital organizations are set up to fail. And it's not because their tech is bad, it's because their data is a mess. They're essentially trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation of quicksand.
Now, think about what happens when you pour something as powerful as generative AI onto that shaky quicksand foundation. It's not just a small problem anymore. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. The risks you already had don't just add up, they multiply exponentially. That faulty data turns your shiny new AI from a game-changing asset into a ticking time bomb.
So here's our game plan. We're going on a journey, really, to become this new kind of AI leader. First, we'll expose the hidden crisis in AI that nobody's talking about. Then we'll meet the hero who can solve it. After that, we'll get our hands dirty, walking through how to build a rock-solid data foundation, then how to master secure AI systems, and finally, how to translate all that deep expertise into real executive influence.
Okay, let's kick things off with the big, dark secret of the AI world, the unseen crisis. This is where we pull back the curtain and really figure out why so many incredibly promising AI projects are just failing, even when they have the most brilliant people working on them. Look, when you hook up a powerful large language model to a wild, ungoverned sea of data, you're not just inviting a little bit of trouble, you are rolling out the red carpet for absolute disaster. You get AI that just makes things up, we call that hallucination. You get systems that take the hidden biases in your data and put them on steroids. And in the absolute worst case scenario, you get a massive data breach that can destroy customer trust and your company's reputation literally overnight. With the stakes this high, you can't just throw more coders at the problem and hope for the best. Nope. You need a new kind of hero. We're calling them a convergent leader, someone who can step into this chaos and defuse that ticking time bomb before it ever has a chance to go off. So who is this convergent AI leader? Think of them as a master translator. They're fluent in two critical languages, the language of data strategy and the language of AI implementation. They don't just build cool AI tech, they build a fortress of safety, compliance, and true scalability around it. And right here, this is the big mindset shift that changes everything. What if I told you that governance, that thing everyone thinks is a boring roadblock, isn't a roadblock at all? What if it's actually the rocket fuel that lets your AI projects truly take off? Because without it, you're stuck. You're stuck in the lab, forever tinkering with prototypes that are too risky to ever see the light of day. So how does our hero actually create this rocket fuel? Well, it all begins with building a solid data foundation. This is the part of the journey where they forge the armor, the credibility and control that will earn them a seat at the big table. And they don't just dive in head first, hoping for the best. They use a proven 5-step framework. You start by assessing the current chaos, then you define a crystal clear vision for the future. Only then do you actually start designing the architecture, implementing the changes, and scaling the solution. It's a methodical, step-by-step approach to turning a data swamp into a data oasis. And at the very heart of that framework, you've got the 5 C's. You need clarity, so everyone is on the same page. You need consistency, so the rules apply to everyone, everywhere. You absolutely need compliance, so you don't get into legal trouble. But for AI, the most critical C, the real king of the castle, is control. This is where you build that digital fortress to protect your company's most valuable asset, its data. Now, you don't have to build that entire fortress all at once. That would be overwhelming. The really smart move is to start small, with what we call a minimum viable governance deployment. Think of it like this. Before you build the entire castle, you build one single, perfectly fortified room. You pick one high-impact AI project, you get the governance perfect for just that one use case, and you deliver a quick, visible win that builds the momentum you need for the rest of the organization to get on board.
Okay, with our solid foundation in place, we're finally ready to face the dragon in its lair, the actual implementation of the large language model. This is where we take all that foundational work and use it to tame the technical beast and really bend it to our will.
The secret weapon we're going to use here is a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or just RAG for short. A standard LLM, right out of the box, is like a student taking a closed book exam. It only knows what it's already memorized. But a RAG-powered LLM, that's like giving that same student an open book, specifically your company's entire library of trusted, up-to-date information. Suddenly, it can give you answers that aren't just accurate, but are deeply relevant to your business. But using RAG introduces a brand new, super critical piece to our puzzle, the vector database. You can think of this as the AI's own personal, private library where all of your company's most sensitive information is stored in a special numerical language that only the AI can really understand. It's incredibly powerful, but it also creates a brand new high-stakes target for cyber attacks. And this is the moment where everything we've talked about comes together. How do you protect that powerful new digital library? You apply that exact same control principle we established earlier. You encrypt the data, of course, but you also give each user a unique library card that only lets them access the specific information they are authorized to see. It's really that simple in concept, and it's that powerful in practice. So we've built the foundation, we've tamed the beast. Now it's time for the final act of our journey, the transformation from a hands-on expert into a strategic executive. This is where you take all that hard-won technical knowledge and turn it into real influence and power within the C-suite. Because to get that seat at the big table, you can't just be smart. You need the right tools. You need the credentials that command immediate respect. You need the thought leadership, like white papers, that establishes you as an authority. You need a killer pitch deck that can close the deal. But more than anything else, you need the hard, verifiable data that proves the value of what you do. And here is how you make your case in the only language every executive truly understands: money. You show them that good governance isn't a cost center, it's a profit center. You show them the real dollars you're saving by optimizing AI systems, and you show them the millions of dollars in fines and damages you're helping them avoid by preventing a catastrophic data breach. So what does this whole journey look like on a calendar? It's an accelerated 2-year roadmap to the top. The first year is all about building your foundation in data strategy and then mastering the tech side with secure LLM ops. Then, the second year is all about scaling your influence, penetrating the C-suite, and becoming the go-to thought leader in your field. You know, when you really step back and look at it, what this all shows us is that the future of AI won't be built by the coders alone. It's going to be built by architects, the people who can design the blueprints for a future where AI isn't just intelligent, but also safe, reliable, and fundamentally trustworthy. So the only real question left is, are you ready to be one of the architects?